So, it looks as if, finally, we're going to be getting a patch for Battlefield 4. Alan Kurtz has come back from his 2-month holiday after the release of the game, along with a lot of the other developers. And from what we can gather from his tweets the other day, the incoming patch is going to be including a lot of things. Now, at this point in time, there are no official patch notes or anything official at this point. It's all simply from what he's been stating in his tweets. However, we can go through some of the things that I think most need to be patched in the game and therefore are most likely to be in the patch that Alan Kurtz was talking about. Just before we get into the thick of things, my voice is slightly different at the moment because I've got a massive cold. So if you notice a difference in my voice, that's why. A lot of people just notice it back in my mailbox video, but that's not going to stop me. So let's plough on. So the second thing, well, the first thing that Mr. Kurtz mentioned in his tweet are the letters DMR, and that said rebalance before it. So it looks as if they're working to rebalance the DMRs, as the whole community seems to have noticed. They're a little bit underpowered in comparison to every other weapon category out there. It takes up to 4 shots to kill somebody at range. That's not the point of a DMR. The point of a DMR is that it does more damage, so it can kill somebody quicker at longer ranges. And you're only able to equip a 4x scope to a DMR. What's the point of a marksman rifle if you cannot equip a marksman scope in order for you to get those marksman headshots? It doesn't really work with a 4x scope. So I'm hoping in that rebalance situation they're going to be adding more scopes to the DMRs and changing the damage model a little bit so they are a bit more effective at range. I know a lot of players in the Battlefield community at the moment like using the DMRs, but I did a video previously that said they don't really have a place in the game, and that's totally true. At the moment they don't really have an effect, and I don't really feel they've got the love they needed from the developers. So the fact that we've heard this and the fact that they're going to change it may mean that I might need to reevaluate the situation after the patch has come out, but I'm pretty confident if they're even going to be able to add the marksman scopes to the DMRs, that will make them much better. The next things mentioned were the RGO impact grenade, the V40 Mini grenade, and the flashbang grenade. Now, there's not many details on what he actually wants to do with them. Again, I said there's nothing official at the moment, but we can all sort of confirm that the V40 Mini is a little bit overpowered. Kurtz went on to say that they wanted to implement a new, smaller explosion and a different sound for the V40 Mini to try and emphasise that it's not actually as powerful as the M67 grenade is. And the point is, at the moment, everybody's using the V40 Mini or the RGO Impact simply because their qualities over the M67 are so much greater. The V40 Mini you can throw quite a lot further than the other grenades, and you get to equip 3 of them, which means if you throw them in quick succession at one area, you're most likely going to get the kills you're looking for, whereas with the M67 you're not actually going to be able to throw it that far and you only get 2 of them. So ultimately the V40 wins in comparison to the M67, and I think that's probably why they've looked at it and gone, well, everybody's using it, not in the way that we intended, because they're not actually supposed to be that powerful. So knowing DICE what they're like with nerfing things, I don't really know how this one's going to turn out. I hope they're not too harsh on it, because obviously it is a good tactical switch out to have a grenade that you can throw further, but I have a feeling that they're going to be doing something quite severe to that grenade. There was nothing mentioned for the RGO impact grenade, but I feel along the same lines it's much easier to use than the M67, and I think they need to emphasise that it's not as powerful in some way, so maybe looking at reducing the damage or something like that might sort that out. At this next statement, many vehicle users may rejoice. DICE are looking into nerfing the mobile AA. I've spoken to many people about the mobile AA, specifically a lot of people that like to use vehicles in Battlefield 4, and having trodden through the quagmire of crap that is the Battlelog forums, it doesn't just seem to be that my mates are experiencing problems with the mobile AA, it seems to be a widespread problem across the Battlefield community that the thing is just completely overpowered. The general consensus seems to be that the mobile AA's active radar missiles, when you unlock them, are just complete easy mode, and that its main sort of turret, the bullets just fly across the map without any bullet drop whatsoever. So people are suggesting that at least half of the bullet travel should be reduced. So the maximum sort of length that a bullet could travel would be like 500 meters instead of 1,000. I was reading somebody's opinion, and apparently they said you're more likely to get a kill with a mobile AA from 1,000 meters away than you are with a sniper rifle. So if you've got to account for all that bullet drop with your sniper rifle, why shouldn't you be doing the same with a mobile AA? That's just complete evidence that it's completely overpowered, and they have to fix that. While we are on vehicles at the moment, we obviously know about the staff shell glitch for the main battle tanks and the way that you can switch between the main turret and the staff shell very quickly and fire two very, very powerful rounds very close to each other, meaning that you're going to kill somebody quicker than if they're not using the staff shell, which is overpowered and unfair and needs to be fixed. There's no mention of that in the tweets from DICE at the moment. That doesn't mean they're not working on it, it just means they haven't mentioned it. So I'm really hoping they do fix that, because at the moment, every time I get into a tank, everyone else has unlocked the staff shell and I haven't so far because I don't tend to use vehicles anyway. But it's just that they have a complete and unfair advantage over everybody else, and it needs to be fixed. Moving over to the other side of the spectrum in terms of patches and sort of updates, Dennis Bramville, one of the developers of the Spectator Mode for Battlefield 4, has stated that he feels the controls and the overall look of it is rather outdated now and needs some sort of regeneration. So they are looking into sort of changing some of the options that are available in Spectator Mode. A lot of people have been crying for some sort of zoom function in third person, as the Spectator Mode is used quite heavily by a lot of video makers out there, and at the moment the tools aren't there for us to use. Now, I understand it's a Spectator Mode, it's not supposed to be used for making videos, but at the same time there are a lot of videos that have been made with it. So therefore they're looking into that and trying to incorporate some of the things that people can use in video making as well as what can be used in esports. And that's really all the information we have on what they're actually going to patch at the moment. So we don't really have much more, and there are plenty of things out there that do need a patch. There are some things that are in some total need of love from DICE, and there are things that need a little bit of a nerf. And I really hope they're taking all the feedback that we give them in terms of trying to get this game a little bit more balanced. To be perfectly honest, this game is by no means how bad Battlefield 3 was when it first came out in terms of balancing. I have to say it's much, much better. But there's always room for tweaking, and it looks as if DICE are on the right path with that. But that's it, the video's done for today, guys, so thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you like the news that I brought you today, please do hit me up with a like so other people can see the information, and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about some of the things that are going to be patched in Battlefield 4, and if there's anything else that you think should be added to that list. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.